form of theater described by the American press as peculiarly British. I'll be talking about British panto itself and how gesture and movement make British panto what it is, as well as displaying a scene from The Beauty Sleeping, written by Peter Nuttall. To help you understand British panto, I'd like to first talk about a form of Italian street theater called Commedia dell'arte. While it was made in as a form, oh, that was a weird sound that I just made. Commedia dell'arte is a form of Italian street theater in which it incorporated stock characters to make this is not very good.
You're fine, just keep going, keep going.
It incorporated stock characters in order to portray a story. And it originally was created in Renaissance Italy and is one of the most basic and influential forms of European theater. It had many different aspects within itself. However, it was made for both recreational and non-recreational viewing, and there were all improviso, which was improvised, non-scripta, which is unscripted, and mercenaria, which is commercial. And that was intended for the general public to consume and to get money. Well, Commedia uses stock characters, and similar to this, British pantomime also uses stock characters. Some of these include the Dame, which is a woman, which is a man portrayed as a woman. And he or she, they are often shown as I really need to work on this. They were seen as just generally these wretched people, and typically the Dame was not very nice. Similar to the Dame, there was also the Principal Boy, which is somewhat of a counterpart. The Principal Boy is a young male character played by a female, and this was typically done because it's difficult to, I'm not going to say that. That goes into a future point. There's also the Principal Girl, which is nearly always portrayed as the prettiest female in the cast and is seen as the epitome of innocence and youth. There are also pantomime animals. These animals are often horses or cows, and they'd be portrayed by humans. Well, they would be made by humans, created like a costume. It's not a real animal. In one form of British panto commonly seen, or at least an aspect of it, is gender bending. Many of the common characters, such as the ugly sisters from Cinderella, the Dame, of course, and the principal boy are all gender bent. While this is not seen as a form of drag, it is seen as a part of the show and a part of the script. And by default, these characters are not played by as someone of the same sex of the character. Most of the time. There are some instances where a dame or a principal boy is actually played by a woman or a man, but it's rare. Pantomime is also intended for family and children. It's intended for a youthful audience. Typically, this incorporates itself through the set and story, which is often based on fairy tales. Likewise, another part of this is the audience interaction involved in British Panto. One thing I've done at the beginning of this presentation was use a form of audience interaction. When I had said, watch out, it's right behind you, this is similar to interactions that the audience may have with the actors. Popular phrases include, oh no he didn't, it's right behind you, and boo. These are to add a little bit of flair, and they've always been incorporated into British Panto itself. Likewise, British Panto is performed around the Christmas holiday, and it is a holiday tradition. One of the reasons why the principal boy is the principal boy as he is because it is difficult to cast a child in the role in the British Panto because of how complex it is, and generally the rehearsal time for a British Panto is about 4 weeks before production. Therefore, it is very difficult to get a child to learn all lines and choreography without becoming behind in school or a similar occurrence. Clip plays.
Okay. You're 8 minutes in.
Oh dear.
Don't worry about it.
This has been an issue.
You're fine. Keep going.
British Panto incorporates very exaggerated movements within it, often making large or humorous gestures to appeal to the audience and attract a laugh or evoke a certain emotion. For example, let's them take into account what Cinderella was doing with the birds and how she'd been playing with and speaking to them. The movements are generally used to be comedic and to go along with this. Oftentimes, facial expressions are involved as well. In general, British Panto likes to incorporate big facial expressions meant to clearly convey emotions to the audience. With the audience intended to be children, emotions have to be clear and animated for a young child to understand. However, this plays along with the humor of Panto, because big expressive facial expressions can add charm to a scene. Let's say hypothetically the evil witch has walked into a room. In a comedy, would it be better to look neutral, or would it be better to open your eyes, hang your mouth down wide, and look like you're surprised and gasping, oh no, she's here! Now I will be performing a moment of theater from the British Panto play, The Beauty Sleeping by Peter Tull. What are you all doing in my parlor? I didn't invite you around for tea. Go on, get You want me, mother? Shoo! Fiddle, fiddle, hang on. What is it, Tinkle? Don't you recognize them? No. They're last year's pantomime audience. Remember all that business with the beanstalk? They're here to hear our story. What story? The heroic tale of the beauty sleeping. What's that? What you doing? I'm being heroic. Weird. Oh, quite you. Now, hold on, boys and girls. Would you like to hear our story?
Yeah.
Good, I was going to tell you anyways. Now, our story starts with, hang on, what? How long is this going to take? Our mother's coming over for tea. About an hour and a half with an interval. I don't want my scones to get cold. Go on, what's the story then? The tale of the beauty sleeping. What's that then? Oh, you got to remember. What? No. Oh, you're useless, you are. I'm going to tell the story by myself. Wait, is it that story about the girl who fell asleep in the castle for... Shush! You spoil it. In this brief performance, along with attempting to talk in an English accent, I tried to use big and little humorous movements, as well as trying to use facial expressions to draw attention to me as the actor. While I personally like incorporating facial expressions into my daily life and conversations, I struggled with deciding what I wanted to use and when, as well as creating a gesture from the script. I tried to portray the two characters as different from one another, with different voices and different sides of my body. Using these factors together has been different from my personal acting style, as I usually don't do much movement with my body. This put me out of my comfort zone, but I think it was fun to try to be different. In my future performances, I think that, especially in comedy, I should try to use more expression, especially if I'm on a smaller stage or space where the audience can see me easily. I think I could add some flair to what I'm doing and potentially draw forth a few laughs if I can execute my expressions as well. I also use gesture and movements a fair bit. With this, I find that I can make scenes play out or perceive differently. If I'm not I could make the scenes play out differently or be perceived differently if I'm not what my theater teacher refers to as a talking head. I definitely struggle with this, and I think I can bring in much more movement within my acting in the future. For this, I also practice voicing. Sometimes a character in British panto might disguise and use a different voice or to to make them seem like a different character. Going along with this, I also attempted an English accent to make the show feel more authentic, and I think that if I can get better at other accents, it opens up my acting potential fairly drastically. If I can use this experience in my future, I think that it will only benefit me as an actor rather than harm me. It could really open up what I can do beyond the scope of what it currently is, and could be without this experience. In summary, today I've discussed traditions and information regarding British Panto, the convention of gesture, movements, and facial expression, as well as showing you a small scene from a modern British Panto play. British Panto is a modern theatre tradition, and with that, it will continue to change and evolve through time. I'm thankful I was able to study it from its past. I'm glad I've been able to see its present, and I hope I can watch it changing in the future. Thank you.